The Grand Hall of the United Nations in Geneva is usually filled with noise, debates, speeches, the constant hum of translation headsets. But on one autumn afternoon, a profound silence took over. At the podium stood Dr. Aris Villanueva, a Filipino diplomat and public health expert, addressing the World Health Assembly. He wasn't the most famous speaker, nor was his topic, global health logistics, the most sensational. Yet, as he began, delegates started removing their translation headsets one by one. The usual rustling and side conversations faded. All eyes were fixed on Dr. Villanueva. His English was gentle, firm, and remarkably clear, transcending cultural and linguistic barriers. The message was complex, but his delivery made it accessible and deeply compelling. Delegates from around the world listened directly, captivated by the unique melodic quality of his Filipino English. It was a unifying force, warm, precise, and easy on the ears. Dr. Villanueva wasn't just delivering a speech, he was demonstrating a new global standard of communication. The silence held until his final word. Then the hall erupted in a thunderous, heartfelt ovation. Delegates rose to their feet, faces filled with admiration and disbelief. The Assembly's chairperson, voice trembling, declared it one of the most beautifully delivered addresses the chamber had ever heard. The moment was historic. A Filipino had not only delivered a message, but had showcased a national treasure to the world. In that silence, a new voice for global English was born. The world would not forget it. In the days that followed, the world buzzed with talk of Dr. Villanueva's speech. News outlets from the BBC to Al Jazeera focused not just on his proposals, but on his delivery. Headlines read, "The Filipino voice that silenced the UN, and is this the world's clearest English?" Commentators marveled at the clarity and warmth of his accent. Social media lit up, especially among non-native English speakers. A German user tweeted, "For the first time, I understood every word of a major UN speech without subtitles." Others praised the respectful, inviting tone, professional, yet never cold. Linguists explained the secret Filipino English's syllable-timed rhythm and careful enunciation. Dr. Eleanor Vance of Oxford called it a masterclass in global communication. Clear, neutral, and universally understandable. The warmth wasn't just in the sound, but in the language itself. Phrases like, "with all due respect," and "we are all in this together," reflected Filipino values of togetherness. This diplomatic style built bridges, not barriers. The world was charmed by the spirit of the Filipino people embedded in their English. Filipino English was suddenly seen as a model for international communication. It wasn't just clear, it was inviting, collaborative, and deeply human. The world took notice. To understand the impact of Dr. Villanueva's speech, we must look at the Philippines' unique relationship with English. After the Spanish-American War, the U.S. established public education in the Philippines, making English its cornerstone. American teachers, the Thomasites, spread across the islands, teaching English as the language of opportunity. English became woven into daily life, government, commerce, law, and dreams of a better future. Generations grew up bilingual, learning English in classrooms with a focus on grammar and clear pronunciation. This formal instruction, combined with daily use, created a version of English that was precise and accessible. The result, a clear, syllable-timed rhythm, distinct yet universally understood. Today, English proficiency is a defining skill for millions of Filipinos, powering industries like call centers and business process outsourcing. The Philippines ranks among the top countries for business English. Dr. Villanueva's voice was not an anomaly. It was the product of a century of history and a culture that embraced English as its own. Filipino English is a living legacy. UN delegates are the world's most discerning audience, used to speeches filtered through interpreters. When they set aside their headsets for Dr. Villanueva, it was a powerful statement. His Filipino English solved a core problem in diplomacy: the loss of nuance and emotion in translation. Listening directly, delegates connected with his sincerity, urgency, and empathy. A Japanese delegate said, "With the translator, I understood the facts. Listening to him, I understood his heart." Filipino English, with its melodic and expressive nature, became the perfect vehicle for holistic communication. Its neutral accent removed subconscious barriers, making the message accessible and non-threatening. Unlike dominant world accents, it carried no baggage, just clarity. This moment highlighted the need for a truly global English, one that's clear, polite, and neutral. Dr. Villanueva's speech offered a compelling alternative to American or British models. The delegates listened because they were offered a better, more inclusive way to communicate. Filipino English proved itself as a new standard for international discourse. The world was ready for it. Filipino English's global appeal is no accident. It's a blend of linguistic clarity and cultural warmth. Its rhotic pronunciation and crisp consonants make it easy for non-native speakers to understand. The T is clearly articulated, and complex vowel shifts are avoided. Politeness is embedded in the language, reflecting Filipino values of respect and service. Honorifics like sir and ma'am come naturally, creating a professional yet humble tone. The educational system emphasizes grammatical correctness, producing speakers who explain complex ideas with precision. Exposure to American media gives Filipino English a modern, familiar flavor, but it's delivered with a universally accessible accent. The result, a globally recognized vocabulary, spoken with clarity and warmth. Filipino English bridges East and West, making it ideal for a globalized world. It's not just a way of speaking, it's a way of connecting. That's its true power. In the digital age, a single moment can circle the globe instantly. Dr. Villanueva's speech did just that. A journalist's video of delegates removing their headsets went viral within hours. The full speech, released by the UN, became a global phenomenon. For Filipinos, it was a moment of immense pride. Finally, their way of speaking English was celebrated on the world stage. Schools and universities shared the video as an example to emulate. For the rest of the world, it sparked a conversation about what good English really means. Language teachers and YouTubers analyzed the speech, praising its pacing, enunciation, and tone. Filipino English trended worldwide as people sought to understand its appeal. The speech became a case study in effective public speaking and cross-cultural communication. News networks and business publications highlighted the strategic advantage of the Filipino workforce. A single speech had done more to promote Filipino talent than any marketing campaign. Authentic skill had shown on a global stage. Praise for Dr. Villanueva's speech came from all corners. Linguist Noam Chomsky called it a model for global communication. Intelligibility over uniformity. Hollywood actor Chris Pratt shared the speech saying, "Now everyone knows the Philippines has the best English too." Richard Branson tweeted about the power of clear, calm communication, calling the Philippines a master. Language experts and YouTube educators used the speech as a teaching tool, calling it the new gold standard for non-native speakers. "Forget trying to sound British or American. Aim to sound this clear," said one popular host. The shift empowered millions to embrace their own accents while prioritizing clarity. The most touching praise came from ordinary Filipinos, call center agents, overseas workers, who felt seen and celebrated. One agent said, "This is what we do every day. Our voice is finally recognized as a skill." The speech's impact was personal and profound. It wasn't just about one man. It was about a nation's voice. Filipino English had arrived. Dr. Villanueva's speech revealed Filipino English as more than an accent. It's a bridge to the world. The Philippines' English proficiency powers its economy, especially in business process outsourcing and global services. Overseas Filipino workers are valued worldwide for their technical skills and clear communication. Filipino nurses, engineers, and professionals excel because they can connect across cultures. Their English is a key to success and adaptability. Beyond economics, Filipino English is a tool for cultural exchange. Artists, filmmakers, and writers use it to share their stories globally. English, once a colonial imposition, is now a vehicle for Filipino self-expression and soft power. Dr. Villanueva stood on the world stage as a leader, his ideas amplified by a language his country made its own. Filipinos are not just participants in global conversations, they are leaders. Filipino English is the bridge that carries their talent and spirit worldwide. It's a bridge built on history, education, and cultural adaptation. The echoes of that day in Geneva still resonate. Dr. Villanueva's speech has become a source of immense national pride, reshaping how Filipinos see themselves. Accent anxiety has given way to confidence. Filipino English is now celebrated as a model of clarity and excellence. The event set a new standard for global communication. challenging the old hierarchy of accents. The most effective English is not the most native, but the most international and intelligible. Filipino English, with its clarity, politeness, and neutrality, is perfectly suited for a connected world. This recognition is more than a viral moment, it's a turning point. English, once a colonial tool, is now a symbol of Filipino identity and global competitiveness. The Filipino voice is no longer just a service providers, it's a leaders, a diplomats, and innovators. The story of Filipino English is a story of empowerment and pride. As the world connects, the clear, warm, and inspiring Filipino voice will help lead the way.